Stop for a second. If motivation disappeared from your life, this video will explain why. Not with quotes, not with discipline talk, not with fake dopamine detox rules. In this video, you're going to understand how dopamine actually controls your decisions, why modern life trained your brain to avoid effort, why discipline stopped working for you, and how to rebuild a brain that wants to move again. Not temporarily, not emotionally, but structurally. If you've ever felt stuck, numb, or disappointed in yourself without knowing exactly why, this video is about you. And before we go any further, subscribe. Not because you like the content, but because this channel is for people who want to understand themselves, not escape themselves. And if at any moment you feel like this video is describing your life, comment one sentence: I'm rebuilding. Now let's begin.
Your discipline builds your future. Welcome to Clartify.
You are not unmotivated. You are not lazy. If motivation disappeared from your life, it's because your brain already got everything it wants without you doing anything. That's not a mindset problem. That's dopamine. And until you understand this, you will keep blaming yourself for something your brain was trained to do. Let me tell you a real story. A man in his early 30s. Not poor, not lost, not stupid. He had a job. He had goals. He had potential. But every day ended the same way. He planned to work. He planned to improve. He planned to change. And every night, he felt disappointed in himself. Not because he did nothing, but because nothing that mattered moved forward. His days were full, but his life was empty. Every morning started with his phone, messages, notifications, short videos, news. Before his brain even woke up, it was already rewarded. So when it was time to focus, his brain asked a quiet question: why try when reward already came? This is how dopamine works. Dopamine is not pleasure. It's anticipation. It decides what feels worth doing. When dopamine is balanced, effort feels possible. When dopamine is overstimulated, effort feels pointless. This man wasn't weak. He was overstimulated. His brain adapted perfectly to his environment. Phones, content, comfort, reward without effort. And the brain learned something dangerous. Effort is optional. Over time, his baseline dopamine dropped. Baseline dopamine is what makes effort tolerable. When it drops, everything feels heavy. Reading feels boring. Working feels exhausting. Starting feels painful. Not because the task is hard, but because the brain expects faster reward. Scrolling doesn't make you happy. It makes effort feel useless. That's the trap nobody talks about. He tried discipline. He tried motivation videos, morning routines, cold showers, productivity hacks. Nothing worked. Because he was trying to control behavior instead of understanding biology. Your brain does not respond to motivation. It responds to patterns. This is where most people misunderstand dopamine detox. They think detox means suffering. So they remove everything. No phone, no music, no pleasure. For 2 or 3 days, they feel terrible, restless, irritated, anxious. Then they relapse and say, "This doesn't work." But detox didn't fail. They did. Because dopamine detox is not removal. It's re-education. Dopamine is directional. It needs a target. When you remove stimulation without adding effort, the brain panics. And panic creates cravings. That's not weakness. That's confusion. The brain is asking, what am I working toward? If you don't answer that with effort, the brain answers with escape. This is why discipline fails. Discipline is not force. Force creates resistance. Resistance creates burnout. You can force yourself for a day, maybe a week, but the brain always wins. Real discipline is alignment. Motivation does not come before action. Motivation comes after effort. Dopamine rises when the brain sees proof that effort leads somewhere. One hard thing per day rebuilds trust between you and your brain. Without trust, motivation collapses. Here is the hard truth most people avoid. The reason you don't change, not because change is hard. It's because your current life is too comfortable to justify effort. Comfort is not rest. Comfort is control. It keeps you functional, but stuck. The man in the story realized something painful. He wasn't failing. He was functioning. And that was the problem. His life required nothing from him. So his brain gave him nothing back. That realization hurt more than failure. Because failure at least demands action. Functioning does not. This is where real change begins. Not with motivation. Not with detox challenges. With environment. Remove cheap dopamine before effort. Not forever. Just before work. Delay reward. Let effort come first. This single change rewires prediction. Sunlight in the morning tells the brain it's time to act. Movement restores baseline dopamine. Sleep stabilizes motivation. These are not self-help tips. They are biological requirements. Without them, discipline collapses. Then comes silence. Not meditation. Not spirituality. Silence. Silence gives the brain space to feel boredom again. And boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is recalibration. Most people escape boredom too early. They relapse at the exact moment the brain was starting to heal. Long-form work retrains attention. Slow progress rebuilds patience. Patience rebuilds identity. You stop saying, "I can't focus." You start saying, "I finish what I start." That identity shift is everything. The man didn't become extreme. He didn't isolate himself. He didn't chase motivation. He rebuilt trust between effort and reward. And slowly, motivation returned. Not as excitement, as calm willingness. Dopamine is not your enemy. Your environment trained it wrong. The brain always adapts. The question is simple. What are you training it for? Consumption or construction? Because the brain you build decides the life you live. If you've watched this entire video, you already did something most people don't. You stayed. Not because it was entertaining, but because something inside you recognized the truth. Understanding doesn't change your life in one day, but it changes the direction. From this moment on, you will start noticing when comfort is controlling you, when effort feels heavy for no reason, and when your brain is trying to escape instead of move. That awareness is power, not emotional power, structural power. If you want to keep building that power, subscribe to this channel. Not for motivation, not for inspiration, but for clarity. And before you leave, do one last thing. Go to the comments and write, "I'm rebuilding." That's not a comment. That's a decision. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. If you're ready to upgrade your mind and build unshakable discipline, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. More powerful lessons are coming. Stay disciplined. Stay clarify.